Good evening. This is Hamden Action Now, and I'm Rhonda Caldwell. You're getting ready to view Justin Farmer's Just in Time talk tonight with Alexis Chang. She's a Hamden resident, and she's also a producer and a DJ, an all around amazing young person. So I can't wait to hear this awesome community conversation tonight. So stay tuned, sit back, and enjoy the broadcast.
Let's go! Ho, ho!
Hey fam, I cannot hear you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was muted.
No,
I
it's
said,
all
hi,
good.
Justin. How you doing?
I am black, bold, and blessed, and I will not be stressed. How about you?
I'm feeling fantastic to be here with you tonight on this show. I'm so honored to be here and to be talking to you. It's been a while since I last talked to you.
Yeah, no. You know, I, I just want to give context of how we met. Last summer, um, in a season similar to where we are now, we had tons of protests, tons of actions, and I remember pulling up to West Haven, and there was a squad under the pavilion, and I was told that this action was put on by young people, and there must have been about 4,000 people on the West Haven Green.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wow, whoever did turnout, whoever organized this, like, wow, these are senior organizers. This is amazing work. And they had phenomenal speakers. And Farah came and got me, and she was like, Justin, you gotta talk. And I'm seeing all these people, and I'm just like, hold on, everyone here is younger than me. I'm just like, maybe there's two or three people, but I'm like, wow, like this energy, and then to have people playing music and
Right.
artwork,
Mm-hmm.
as well as talking about the issues. This is like, wow. Um, and then I found out one of the people was a Yardie or had some Yardie blood in them. I was like, bet.
Right.
For those who do not know, I am Jamaican. Um, us
That's
Jamaicans,
amazing.
we
Big
gotta
up.
highlight the second country. So we might be, American, but we also are Councilman. You don't know. But
Came
all
out.
that to say, I met this amazing person. So I tonight just want to talk about a little about a little bit about your activism, but more so about your artwork. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I think in so many ways, y'all have refocused me on the fact that art, right? Art has the power to speak and to bring us closer together, but also in terms of uh, the civil rights movements, art has always been something that we've been able to draw on to talk about our liberation. So,
Right.
um, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you come into music, and then from there, like how how did you get involved last summer?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for such a kind and just a very encouraging introduction. Like I feel the exact same way about you, and you uplift me, and um, yeah, it was so great to meet you this summer. But I am Alexis. I'm 19 years old. I'm currently living in Hamden, Connecticut. I'm a senior in high school. I go
Mhm.
to Hopkins School, which is in New Haven. And I've been doing music for I've really been doing music for as long as I remember. Um, but my biggest focus, as you know, is music production. So I love making beats, instrumentals. I write some of my own music as well and sing, but more instrumentals and beats is my focus. And I started doing that. I started producing, I think, when I was 15. So that's when I really got into. Also, I started playing guitar when I was about 13, and playing guitar opened like a whole new sort of like a whole new box of opportunities, because before I had just played piano and it sort of felt like a requirement in the beginning, but adding guitar into that and seeing how the two instruments went together was really, really cool to me. And then that's what got me into production, like adding in all the different instruments, different pads and drums, and like watching it build and then having a product at the end is something so like it's kind of like never ending, and it's something really special to me. And then this year, one of my main goals was to learn to DJ, which I've been super into. I've always wanted to DJ for as long as I can remember. So I got a little DJ controller and I'm practicing on it all the time. And I really hope that when COVID gets a little better and people can go to like big gatherings and parties and everything again, I can DJ, and it's just a cool thing and it's fun to do. But yeah. And then this past summer, or actually I would say in May, I've always been passionate about social justice and racial injustices as well. I'm half, like you had said, I'm half Jamaican, half Korean, so I sort of have I have an interesting perspective. I feel like coming from two different cultures, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm trying to say, but this summer in May, right after the death of George Floyd, there were a lot, and there was just a lot of news about Black people being killed by cops. And I think that brought up a ton of conversations among young people, especially students or young people who aren't Black, because this is something that they haven't really had to deal with in this way before. But yeah, I think that a lot of people were tired and angry. A lot of people, especially people of color, obviously. And there are just a lot of students wanting to make something happen, wanting to institute change in a way and like speak up. And I'm part of a group of high schoolers called Connecticut Against Brutality, which is the group you were referencing before. And I found out about them through a girl who I went to this leadership program called Ryla with back in the fall of 2019. But she was like, I know that you're passionate about social justice, and this seems like a cool thing that you would like to be a part of. And they're organizing a protest coming up. It was like June 6th or something. And I was like, I would love to be a part of that. And we organized it, and we all made this group chat, and it was really, really incredible to see the turnout. Like you said, it was it was like 3,000 or 4,000 people. And yeah, just being there and hearing the speakers, just like watching everything happen, and people, talk so passionately and shout so passionately about something they care about, and all of us being in one space was something so inspiring and hopeful in a time that really cannot feel hopeful. Yeah, it was really inspiring to be around so many people.
No, as you were saying that, I just keep thinking about, I must have played it maybe 150 times throughout the summer, just constantly. But Anderson Paak's Lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and just like it. So I've been doing, you know, work on police brutality probably which is crazy to say, but probably about 9 years now.
Mm,
And I remember being one of the young people on the spot, and then to last summer in a very weird. I still haven't even really processed it all, but people were like, "Yo, I heard you speak at this rally. Do you mind coming to my town and speaking about racism?" I'm
right.
like, "Yeah," but also like that kind of feels weird. Like
Mm-hmm.
feels weird to be like a headliner, like, "Are you ready to talk about how racist we are?"
Exactly. Exactly.
But like the music, like thinking about hyping myself up and like driving from place to place to the different songs. Um, of course, DMX just passed.
Mm,
Um, but the amount of times I've played Rough Rider, riding from one place to another, and I'm just like, "Yep,
right.
open up. We about to set up shop." And it's like, okay. And then I go to an event, and it's like the most bougie event that you can imagine. It's like, all right, before I pulled up, I was definitely playing DMX, and now
Right.
I'm definitely in a spot with chandeliers, and people are like everybody in their mother's name, Lord this or Doctor that.
Right.
Um, so I guess all that to say, being a DJ, how do you like when you think of putting when you're creating music? Are you thinking more about the feeling that you're feeling, or are you more thinking about the lyricism, the words? So which way do you work?
That is a very good question. I was smiling because that's something I've thought about a lot in the course of making music. Um, Being an artist, like I find myself really thinking about what are my motives for making this song or this beat or whatever. And thinking about whether it is like for the mood of the song or focusing on the lyrics. And I think I do a little bit of both, an equal amount. Um,
Mm,
for example, my song Inspired, which is my debut song that came out this past August. Um,
hey,
yeah, that song I made, and I'll put my links in the chat in a little bit. So
hold on,
you can
fam.
if you want.
But before we end, fam, I'm gonna ask you to bless the mic and spit something at us. So
I like a freestyle. I don't know how
not
to freestyle.
not even a freestyle, but like if you want to play a couple of tunes on the guitar or something, I'm
I
just
would love
like,
to. But yes, my song Inspired, that is a very upbeat song. I made
mm,
that beat. I think I made it when I was on Instagram Live. I go Instagram Live a lot and I just like while I'm producing something just so like I can if other people or myself, even for myself, I'd like to like look back at the process and like see where my thoughts are coming from.
mm,
Um, but that song is very upbeat. That song, I was really focusing on the energy of it. And the lyrics are, I mean, I wrote them from my heart, but I wrote them at like 3 a.m. and I wrote them in like 10 minutes. And they're kind of like fast. They're kind of like, some of my songs have a lot more like, I put a lot of my heart and like vulnerability into them. But that song was more focused on the beat and I really like the energy of it and I really wanted to like be able to uplift people by listening to it. But then I have some other songs which are unreleased. I'm hoping to release them soon though. Um, but this year I've really been trying to focus on songwriting. That's my next big mission because I can produce and I can sing, but I would love
mm,
to try and learn how to songwrite to an extent that like I'm not really sure the word like that I feel like satisfied with like writing songs. I realized a lot of it is just like poetry and
mm.
sort of like it's kind of like journaling in a way. It's very cathartic for me. So I have my little notebook. I don't think I have it in here. I'm in my home studio right now. You can't really see it, but
Hey,
I have a notebook that I carry around with me quite literally everywhere. I always have it in my bag at school or somewhere in my room. And whenever I'm like in my feelings or I'm like upset about something or I'm happy about something, try to just like jot down little lines. And then I'll come back to the production later. But most times, actually, like I'll make a beat first and then I'll write to the song. Um, but yeah, to go back to your question, I think it depends on the song. I think it really depends because sometimes my lyrics, sometimes if I start a song just from the lyrics, it'll help build the production around it, but I want the lyrics to be the main focus. But other songs, like Inspired, like I want it to be more based on the sounds and the rhythm and the beat of it. But yeah.
So what's your favorite genre of music? Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite creative?
Okay, there are so many, but I have to say my favorite genre that I create but also to listen to is I'm gonna say R&B because
Okay.
I listen to so much R&B, like today R&B, 90s R&B, all types of just I can't stop listening to R&B. And I would say my favorite artist, probably one of my favorite artists that really inspires me is this sister duo named Chloe and Halle. They do they're signed by Beyonce, which is super cool, but they're kind of like R&B mixed with like pop, mixed with like hip hop. But a lot of the beats that they create, or a lot of the music and I love them because they produce and write and record all their own stuff like from their house, which is like super similar and impressive to me. And they're just two powerful Black women that's just something so inspiring to me. But yeah, a ton of the elements in their music, like the harmonies, um just certain of their melodies, elements of the production, like I really look up to them so much in that regard, but also just like their music always puts me in a good mood no matter what. Um yeah, but there are really so many. Um my favorite creative, I'm going to shout out someone who she's a mutual friend of mine, but I actually met her a couple of weeks ago. Her stage name is Talia Goddess. It's TALIAGODDESS, but her name is Tayana Walcott. But she's this creator from New York. I think she's from Brooklyn, but she's also a singer songwriter, producer, DJ. I think she takes pictures too, and she like directs her own music videos and stuff. And I don't know, she's really been inspiring me this year, and sort of like inspiring me to take my art to a new level. Because I don't know, I feel like I know a majority of my friends and like people who I keep up with the most are creatives and people who create art because I think that's the people I connect with most. But I feel like it's rare to find creatives who are passionate in like several mediums, and she is like that, and I feel like we're super similar in that way. And she like made her own, she started a record label and a recording studio. She's 18, she's younger than me, and she's like done all of this. So yeah, she's like a creative powerhouse who I really really look up to. But yeah.
No, I like, I I think it's always, I think just like the elements of music, um like like I feel like most creatives are just old souls, right? I'm just like, you already have a story and a passion to tell. So I think that's why we always see some of the celebrities that were like, wow, they're that young. like Nas X. It's like, yeah, that person's
Mhm.
only like 20 something because I'm
Exactly.
like, they've been like constantly thinking like, cool, how do I do this? And I feel that unlike a lot of other fields, like you have more opportunity to just make your own niche, whereas a lot of other things, there's so many barriers where like you have to do this for this amount of time, you have to do
Right.
that. Like, cool, you can literally just sit there with the like don't
Yeah.
don't like I'm so fancy. I'm just like, cool,
Yeah.
that person, they weren't like doing something crazy. They definitely went on garage band and just like
Exactly.
dinked around. But it's
Right.
just like, all right, cool, I feel this. Like I'm absorbing that energy.
Right.
Um so for me, I music, obviously, me having Tourette's and always wearing noise canceling headphones
Mhm.
for my own health, but also because of that, I listen to a great deal of music.
Mhm.
Um, I have 20,000 songs. I have 10,000 favorite songs. I listen to everything.
Mhm.
Um, and because of that, I think electric music is some of my favorite music, but really uh, like DJs who mix up stuff. So like I'm a huge fan of your lives and listening to what music and songs you're putting together. Because there's some songs I know, some songs I don't. Um, but I suggest a girl talk to you um, because he is a DJ that was literally a chemical engineer who decided to be a DJ. He dropped out of engineering school to be a DJ.
Mhm.
Um, but he mixes everything. He mixes R&B. He mixes old blues songs with hip hop, with pop. Um, all that to say, um, race is a construct, right? And as a person who represents two very distinct cultures, uh, just kind of like that music that I love that presents itself as everything in a
Right.
space. How do you how do you present in your space, and how do you negotiate that?
When you say what do you mean when you say present in my space?
So like in the sense of like there's how other people view us, but how do you view yourself? Like how do you walk through the world? How do you try to present yourself in your most authentic way to the universe?
Okay, this is a very good question. Very interesting because I realized over the years that there are so many different parts of my identity to embrace. Um
Mm.
like I'm Korean, I'm Jamaican, I'm a musician. Like just from the top of my head, like I have a lot of energy all the time. Um I'm trying to just think of like I'm very androgynous in my style. Like I'm sort of like I don't know. I feel like that's a big thing about myself that I just never really thought of. Like I've never really thought much about, but um, I had my first prom yesterday, and planning out outfits for that was super interesting because for like the longest time, sorry, I'm kind of sidetracking, but for the longest time, I just wore dresses to every dance, and I would be like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable in this," but everybody else probably is too because you know I don't know, dressing up formal isn't always fun. But then yesterday I wore like this suit sort of jumpsuit type thing, and I was just like 1,000 times more confident and like I don't know, that was just something super interesting to me because I think I've really been coming to terms with a lot more about myself and parts of my identity um that are, I don't know, they're super important. And I think going back to your question, like walking around, how do I present myself? I think I try to just, I don't know. That's a tough question. I try to just like put out good energy into the world. Help people out when I can. And yeah, I just hope that I can, inspire others in some way. I'm not exactly sure. That's a tough question. But I would also say it depends on the group of people I'm around. Like, I've really realized that code switching is a big thing in my life. I've really realized it the more and more I've heard about other people telling their stories about code switching.
You said you're a person of color? No, it's not.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, I've always known that I've sort of like changed around different groups of people a little bit, or not changed, but adjusted. And yeah, I've just essentially, I like to try and put out good energy. If you put out good energy, you get good energy. And I love to, yeah.
No, I think that's, I think that's pinnacle to so much about how we create and how we interact. Where cool. I'm almost always looking back on pictures of like the last 5-6 years. I'm like, man, do I sleep in a shirt and tie? I'm like, bro, like, do you own any other clothes? I'm like, I open up my closet. I'm like, I know I got other clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, to your point, it's about the energy put out, but it's also like how we use that energy, right? And sometimes like clothing allows us to use that energy. Sometimes it's identity. Culturally, do Jamaica dancehall, reggae, like Korean pop, like, all right, cool, go off. Has your culture influenced your music in a way, or have you drawn from those ancestral elements?
Absolutely. I listen to obviously a lot of reggae. My dad, my grandma, my aunt are always playing reggae at all times, is what I grew up on. Like, I'm really, I think that reggae's become something very comforting to me because I associate it with, being at home with my family, being safe. And I think that that's an element that I try to put in my music. But also, like, as well as reggae, I listen to soca. Soca's pretty similar to reggae, but I listen to a lot of soca. I've been trying to put it into my DJ mixes as well, and I've really been trying to widen my sort of like dance hall, Afrobeats, soca, reggae. I want to my ultimate goal is to make like a Caribbean type mix, that I can just play for my family and stuff, because like we listen to so much reggae and so much soca. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I think I definitely get a lot of like the drums that I use in my beats. I mean, I use a variety, but I've been getting really into different rhythmic drums, like different layers of drums. Like, as I was talking before, or talking earlier about one of my favorite things about music production is like watching how the track builds instrument by instrument. And layered drums, normally you just have a hi-hat, a snare, and a kick. But if you add in like a tom into that, or like a shaker, or like different elements of drums, and you get like a really cool rhythm, that's the coolest thing to me. And I've been trying to get more into that. But yeah, I think that listening to songs growing up listening to songs with so much rhythm really brought me to that place. I haven't listened to as much K-pop as I should. But I had a small K-pop phase in 8th grade.
Hey,
It just K-pop it's really just it gets me so hyped up. Like I really it just it's really high energy. K-pop is really high energy. So sometimes it's like I need to listen to it at the right time, but when I listen to it at the right time, it really can, bring me into a mood that um or to a place I'm trying to get. Like it brings my mood up a lot. But yeah.
no, even you just saying soca, I had to stop myself from just like,
Yeah,
I had to
exactly.
stop. I was like, I was feeling it. I was like, all right, okay. Also, if y'all are looking for good music, because you made me think about this Major Lazer,
Mhm.
just to see collaborations of different DJs under one banner, um, share uh, share those Afro Caribbean beats.
Mhm.
To see people like Diplo, DJ Snake,
Right.
um, um, why am I forgetting his name? Why am I forgetting? Skrillex.
Mhm.
Just to see how they take their own styles and then throw that into a more Caribbean lean. I'm just like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
just in case, not that y'all asked for good music,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna throw that out there that if you want to listen to some good music, definitely check out Major Lazer.
Yeah.
Um,
He's dope.
so I guess my next question for you is like, what do you like? Part of the reason why I reached out to you is because I know Adam, and I enjoyed your story about music intervention,
Mm.
uh, amazing program in New Haven, where Adam has created a space where creatives, anyone can really come.
Right.
But the most powerful thing is allowing for people first in need, right? People who are homeless, people who might not have access to resources, who
Abs-
don't, who maybe even have access to some resources, but would never have the opportunity to pick up a drum or touch a piano or to be able to say, all right, cool, I'm going to play around with a bass and
mm.
then, play around with this, acoustic guitar. And then I want to see, uh, if I can use a synthesizer. Like most people just don't have access in a
Right.
live studio to so many accoutrements. So
Exactly.
if you can share a little bit about your experience, and then I'd love to hear like what is your vision, or where are you being led um, in this season of creativity? Like where do you think the next space you're gonna really master? It sounds like DJing is it, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, um, I think that why am I blanking on the first question you asked? I'm so sorry. What was the
music intervention, your
Oh,
feelings, your
yes.
thoughts.
At my school, seniors are required to do 12 hours of community service. And I was looking around New Haven. I was thinking I want to do something with music. And my mom had actually told me about this place like literally immediately before COVID started, because I was looking for open mic opportunities for my band. But
Mm,
then COVID happened, so I never got to visit. But my mom brought it back up, and I called Adam because I was like, this would be an incredible opportunity. Because I was looking at their website, um, watching his YouTube videos, and basically, I ended up loving it. I Every single day there was something new, somebody new in their recording, whether it was a music video or just a song. Um, I ended up doing like 20 hours, even though I was only required to do 12, just because I loved being there and learning from Adam. And there's also the engineer there. His name is Kevin, who's fantastic. But like literally every day, there were just people that would come in and record and write. The last day I was there, I think that was the day I had storied all that stuff. But there was a group of these men, and I think that, I don't know, they literally came in, and we were all quite confused at first. But they came in and they went in the studio, the little booth that they have at Musical Intervention, and they started freestyling. And I don't know, that was just like incredibly, I don't really get emotional all the time. I don't know why I was being super emotional that day, but like that just really moved me. Um because they like hearing, first of all, hearing what they were rapping about, like a lot about their own personal experiences and struggles and, life. Um and stuff, yeah, stuff they were going through, and being able to like express it so easily, and like it also just sounded so good. Like they would do so many takes and each one would sound so good. And like personally, I've been trying to learn to freestyle and it's difficult. It's difficult. Your mind has to move fast, you have to have a story to tell, and like hearing them freestyle so effortlessly, I was like, wow, it really hit me that, I mean, it's something I've always known, but I think that just seeing it that day like really brought it to a new level. There are so many people out there with such an immense amount of talent, but they just don't have the resources to get their talent seen, heard, whatever, by other people. Um, so that's why places and like environments like Musical Intervention are so um inspiring and like moving to me, because they provide um these people who don't really have much to they don't have many ways of, recording their art, recording their music. They don't have a space with instruments. Musical Intervention gives that space. And also just like being together there with all of them, they were all like so friendly, and like the energy was just really high in that room. And I love meeting people and networking with people who have energy that matches mine. And it's just like, I don't know, it seems kind of like there are just so many places where you can find creative people to work with and to be inspired by. um but the spaces have to be provided for some people, or for all people. um but there are just so many people out there who are so talented, and that got me really excited for the future. um and in one of my biggest goals is to create, once I get to a point in my life where I would love to create a label where I can just uplift younger art, younger. I would really love to focus on artists of color, Black artists, female artists, transgender artists, all artists who, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, it's changed over time, obviously, but it feels like white cishet male artists get a lot of attention just from like taking ideas from artists of color, which is like, I'm gonna say that.
Colonization.
But yeah, I don't know. I was just like, y'all are taking our ideas. But anyways, I really would love to do that and make space for others in this industry, because I think in the music industry, in the film industry, any type of art industry, I feel like people of color need to stick together and uplift each other. Because yeah, we're stronger together. But yeah.
No, I appreciate that, and I just thought of some videos I'm gonna send you after this to be like, yo, check out these people, because I think, you know, we don't talk about, you know, civil rights movement, right? We had so many songs, right? Um, from the inception of us coming, um, I think of people like Fannie Lou Hamer, right?
Mm.
Of me. If y'all don't know about Fannie Lou Hamer, go learn about Fannie Lou Hamer. And if you ain't trying to learn about civil rights, at least go to YouTube and hear sister sing songs about her struggles. But
Right.
like those songs like "Oh, go pick that cotton," "Oh, go pick that cotton," just even simple things of like us stimulating our minds while we're doing work, and how oftentimes that was used so that we couldn't communicate with each other. But we were able to turn that into to switch the tone and the pitch to to explain to each other a situation without overseers knowing. Or I think about um, the fusion of culture, right? Like Jamaica in the early 1900s, we had a ton of people who were Asian, who were indentured servants to the British, who worked sugarcane plants,
Mm.
and that integration of cultures and sharing food and sharing music. I think about uh, some of our revolutionaries, right? Bob Marley, a,
Mm-hmm.
a musician but a radical in his own right. I think about um, the people who came up after, like Prince, right?
Right.
Cool. Like we looking at Minneapolis right now, like we're so I don't know. I have such a great reverence for music and creativity. Um, so I just part of it. I just want to thank you on a person, and I also want to thank you because y'all really inspired that last campaign where I never thought about integrating art in so many ways into the campaign, and I think that was the dopest thing. Where there's sometimes I'd get on Instagram and we'd post things. Um, it's like, yo, this is dope. I'm like, whose stuff is this? I'm like, hold up, this is my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't seen the amazing creatives who've shown me what they see.
Right.
Where I'd sit there and like my own thing, and I'm like, all right, let me unlike it because I'm gonna look wild.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, like I haven't even seen this. I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah.
Um, so before um I would love for you to bless us on the mic. Play a song, play a jingle, whatever feels comfortable to you,
Oh,
if
thank
you're
you.
willing. Before you do that, though, any last thoughts to close out? Any last um, before we hear your music and hear your inspiration? Any last closing thoughts or ideas that you want to share with people?
Um, I think I just want to say that I'm very excited for the future. I'm very excited for change, and I think that art is an incredible way and an underrated way. I think that yeah, music especially is an underrated mode for change. I think that music can move so many people, bring so many people together, um, and it's a great way to spread messages. And yeah, everybody who's watching this, keep creating and encouraging other people to create, because you never know like who could be listening to a song and have it really help them through something, um, or feel some sort of relation to it, and that's really cool.
Before you pick up an instrument, let us know where. Like we're gonna throw it to the video. But where can we find you?
Okay. I am Alexis Chang on all platforms, but you can also my artist name sort of it's Changster Music. I'm trying to figure out that was I made it in 5th grade, but I've sort of stuck with it. Um, but that's my Instagram. CHANGSTER music. That's my SoundCloud as well. But yeah, I'm Alexis Chang on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, YouTube, all the platforms. I have to tune my guitar because you surprised me. I haven't warmed up my voice or anything, but let me go tune this instrument.
You said you gonna blame the me. No,
Okay, but yes, I think I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna play my song Inspired because that is a song that it means a lot to me, and I'll do a little acoustic version. Okay. I gotta remember the chord.
oh, I'm just like.
Okay, I'm just gonna sing it. I'm not gonna do any vocal warm-ups. Okay. Here, I needed to be here. I needed the space to breathe, to get away from everything, the suffocation that is life. And even though I didn't notice it, it was building bit by bit in my room, waiting for thoughts to bloom. Then I'd start feeling down. I just want to go back to myself somehow. How do I write a song or find the words to string along? But that was 3 weeks ago, and now I feel much better. So I'm so inspired, and there's so much fire. I could go anywhere from here. I'm motivated, and now I trust, baby, that I'll always come around. When my ideas are gone, it feels like I'm running a marathon. I feel like someone else, and now I feel back like myself. Needed this time to catch my breath, to reset. And now I'm brought back. I'd be sitting up in my room, waiting for thoughts to bloom, and I'd start feeling down. One song, I find the words to string along. But that was 3 weeks ago, and now I feel much better. So I'm so inspired, there's so much fire. I could go anywhere from here. I'm motivated, now I trust, baby, that I'll always come around. And thank you. Thank you so much.
I had to stop myself from yelling fire emoji. No,
No, I saw your face smiling. It really got me more comfortable because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. Sometimes, like, I don't know, I'm not really singing live is something that I really want to do more. I want to get better at that because it's so much fun, but I get very nervous. But having you hype me up, you were just like making little facial expressions that had me feeling really comfortable. So thank you for that.
No, the only thing I think you're gonna have to get used to is like I almost did the Jay-Z. I was like, ooh, like I was like, I want to mess up her set. I was like, I was gonna praise you in the moment. So that,
Wow. No, that I really love playing that. I wish I prepared more songs, but I don't really have. I'm trying to think of what else I could play. But I will say I have an album coming out in about a month because I'm doing it for a senior project with two of my friends, Kayla Spearman. Her artist name is Kayla Cheryl. You could also listen to her music. And then we have Rainice Brown, who are two of my best friends. But it's basically an album, 3 young Black women telling our stories from high school, life in general. And it's going to be about 13 songs. But that's coming out in the beginning of June. So, yeah, look out for that.
Oh, so did you say we finna have y'all back once the LP drop?
Yes, please. Absolutely. We would, once the album drops, I would absolutely love for you to meet them and for more music to be out there.
Thanks. And where do people how do people support you in the work in your work? Because I was like, bet I want that song. I'm like, I wanna be able to like throw that into my MP3 and like
Yes.
get inspired.
Okay. The best way to support me, I think, is please stream my music. You could follow me on all social medias or whatever social medias you have, but literally any type of like engagement, especially on social media, because it's kind of hard to build a following on social media. So engaging and sharing. If you like any of my stuff, please share it. You never know who it could get to. And it really is, I mean, the whole networking, I love meeting people, working with, creating with, collaborating with new different artists and musicians and creators. But yeah, just the best way I think to support artists and musicians is to just keep up and follow their, whether it's YouTube, so any type of social media, because that's the main way we build our brand. But yeah.
Oh well, I'm definitely a Changster now. Like I'm all about it.
Thank you so much, really, like, for having me. I'm really so honored to have met both of you and to talk to you, Justin. Like, and you had such thoughtful questions. I really appreciate when I'm in an interview and the interviewer is it interviewer? When the interviewer has really thought through like the wording of the questions and you just asked you asked a lot of questions that got me thinking, which I really appreciate.
No,
you were really amazing. I really enjoyed the musical performance. I just was like, oh my, it's in my ear. I listened to the whole thing and I'm just like, oh my God, she's actually singing and playing. And it's totally amazing. And I know that you're going to be you are a total inspiration to all young aspiring artists. And whatever, you need us at Him the Action Now to do to support your work, fundraising for more equipment, or, like you said, we'll stream your music. I'm going to put your link on all of our pages, and also our YouTube channel, which is great. And we just want to support. There's one thing you said that I thought was really powerful, is when you talked about, there's 3 women just sharing their stories through music. I mean, how powerful is that, especially during this time? It's amazing. You're doing amazing work. I mean, I was just in the background going, oh, is she going to sing? I was like, oh, she's going to actually sing and play.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
I'm so glad that I got to sing for you guys. And that really means a lot. I'm extremely excited for this album with my 2 friends. And I think that a lot of the I'm hoping a lot of the lyrics and the stories and the songs will be relatable for a lot of people. So yeah.
I'm
Well,
not. It's already stuck in my head. I'm like, and,
I know. I'm gonna go to Spotify as soon as we hang up, and I'm gonna put that on my thingy. Yes,
Thank you so much. That would mean
it's
everything.
just amazing.
and
It's just
that was
amazing.
3
Great
weeks
job.
ago. I was like, oh,
It's
like,
so
okay.
hard.
Justin was dancing.
I was like, that council meeting was only 3 weeks ago. I feel inspired. I'm like,
Yeah. I loved it. You were getting into it. I really
It was great.
appreciate like whenever I'm performing something and the audience is really engaging with it. Like it really makes me feel so great.
Well, you did a great job. So thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. Please, as soon as the album drops, come back and
Absolutely, I would love
kinda
to.
bless us with some more, because that was really a blessing tonight. I needed that.
amen.
Thank you.
So thank you all so much for joining,
It
and
was
you
so
have a
nice to
great
meet
weekend.
Yeah. Have a great
Me too.
weekend. The weekend is
All right.
the week is over. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes. Uh-oh, we just lost her. She's too cool. I cannot wait to hear the album. I'm gonna, I was trying to pull that up on my Spotify, so I got to figure out how to maneuver that. But thank you so much, Justin, for this awesome talk tonight. These are all the amazing talent that we got here in Hamden. I just want to make sure that we continue to highlight it. These young
Thanks.
people are doing it. They are getting it done. So thank you so much for continuing to highlight climate change, young musicians, and everybody in the community, so they can be enlightened on the talents that are right here amongst us.
Thanks.
So thank you. And you have an awesome weekend too.
You too. And thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Take care.